got more people joining us. Welcome, everybody. Hi, my name is LB and I am your bartender this morning. Welcome to the Factor 8 Sales Shot. If you're just joining us, go ahead and type in your location and how many sales shots you've done with us before. If this is your very first time, we promise to be gentle. Your answer will be your location and the number 0. Ooh, how do you even say that? Union, Kentucky? Union? Richard, we need phonetic spelling in there. I used to live in Louisville, and you know it's true because if you're from Louisville, you know to say Louisville in 2 syllables, not 3 syllables, right? But where is Union? I feel like I'm French now, and I wouldn't even be able to put the accent on my keyboard. We're going to need more, Richard. Start typing. Tell us more. Everybody, welcome. You have found the Factor 8 monthly sales shot. You all should be, love Louisville, autocorrect. This is fun. It's great. All right, let's do this for real, everybody. We're 1 minute past. We've got a great group today. We're talking about time management hacks, one of my all-time favorite subjects. What's hilarious is it's hard to take the time to learn about time management. So start by giving yourself a pat on the back. Today's exciting because, like I said a minute ago, we're doing 2 new things. One of them is launching a fun contest. And the second one is giving you all a chance to go take the deeper training in the sales bar at the end of this. So it's not something we typically open up for a class, but by popular demand, we're going to give that a shot. I super highly recommend it because sales shots are tons of fun, but these are what we call edutainment. I'm going to give you some tips and ideas, but we're not going to have time to dig into how to apply them. And that's what the class afterwards is for. It's an important topic, so make sure you do it. Here we go. Let's get this party started. Should have said Florence. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it. Here we go. All right. First of all, I want to let you know what's next on our sales shots. We've got lots of past timers and old timers and barfly regulars with us today. I can't stop with the puns. Here are the next ones coming up. So more tips to close sales coming up in June. Selling to C-level executives. I've got a really good panel for that one in June. And also Swift everything. You guys have heard me talk about Swift before. I'm going to give a crash course in selling the Swift way. This is going to make your intros better, your voicemails better, your value props better, your questioning better, your proposing and your closing better. So we do these sales shots every month. If you go to factor8.com/shots, you can sign up for the next few months right now and join me and come back. Here we go. Let's talk about time management because, folks, struggle's real, okay? Ooh, basically, stress, hello, who doesn't have it? About 50% is caused by overwhelm. I don't know who decided they needed to study this because when I wind up huddled in a fetal position in the back of my closet sucking my thumb, I understand it's overwhelmed. Thank you so much for the tips. Here are some stats you might not know. Get your fingers ready to chat. What percent of our day is spent on non-sales activities? I love how they just tell us these are unimportant. They aren't all unimportant. They just don't necessarily come into our commission check. So chat it in for me. What's the number? What percentage of our days, according to Cornerstone, is spent on non-sales stuff? It's okay, I'll wait. Here we go, 40%. Taylor, always ready to take a guess. Good swing. I love it. And now 43, 98.7% of all statistics are made up on the spot. And if you put a decimal on it, it sounds like you know what you're talking about. 65, 25, another 65. Mark goes high with 70%. Is anybody going for $1? $1. The answer is 80%. You think that's true? If you were to divide up your day, how many hours of, well, I guess if you're in sales, how many hours of talk time? Right? Are you doing? And for managers, you're going to hate this, but how many hours are you spending with your team? If I were to say that is the core function of your job, which of course your email and your reports and your boss will all compete with, but right, what percent is that? So help me out along the way every once in a while, guys. I'm doing this for sales reps and managers. This is also first time we've done this in the shot. So I'll be going back and forth to give examples for each. So work with me here. If you feel like I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to your team. If you feel like I'm not speaking to your team, I'm speaking to you. All right. Next one I'm giving you. More selling time presented by people who have a methodology. So that means if I've got a structure to my day, if I've got a method to my madness and how I structure it and how I manage my time, which you're getting from us in this class afterwards, that studies report you'll have about 20% more sales time. So not bad, right? I could take an extra maybe hour, hour and a half in my day at 20% extra. If you had an extra hour of calling time every single day or an extra hour with your team every day, what could you accomplish at the end of a month, right? It's like getting free sales days. All right, next one. I should have made you type it in. I'm so sorry. I can't take it back now. About 75% of us don't follow a philosophy. So that's a great big bummer, but also your competitive advantage. Thank you for taking the time today to learn about how to get more out of your day. Here we go. Let's line up the shots, baby. I've got 10 with a few bonus chasers. Number one, it's about owning your day. In fact, that's what we call our class in the sales bar. Own your day. It's the single most important skill you're going to give yourself. And here are the three main strategies. Proactivity is the theme of everything. It's the key to your success. Not many of us who got into sales have naturally reactive personalities. We're type A folks. We drive in the left lane. We go, right? So when you're stuck responding to other people's stuff all day, tough. The second strategy is learning what's really a fire, because they aren't all fires. And then protecting your time. We're going to talk a lot about that. So let's dive right in. Proactivity. What I'm talking about is stopping the fire drills, or what we call whack-a-mole management. Remember that? It's like my favorite game. Maybe I just need to club more small things. Get out my frustration. I love that game when you go to a fair. So how do you do that? Well, we start by identifying priorities. And folks, it's probably not what's taking 80% of your day, right? I got into sales to make money. I got into sales to help people. Well, all the time I'm not talking to customers, I'm doing things that aren't my priorities. Managers, you know it's the same. You got into management because helping other people win felt better than you winning. If that's not why, go back and re-examine. We could talk afterwards. But when you're not spending time with your team helping them do that, and you are spending your time in the spreadsheets and the emails and the deal approvals and the BS meetings, and I know. That is painful. So if you can start every day, maybe it's even a poster on your wall. My priorities are, and just make that your touchstone at the beginning and the end of every day. Huge takeaway. Okay. It's going to help you decide where to focus your time minute by minute by minute. And that's the key. Time management isn't one big thing you get to check off. It's the baby decisions you make in the moments throughout the day. Okay. All right. Setting one daily goal. I used to set 10 daily goals. Then it was down to 5. And now I feel like I'm lucky if I get the one thing I put on my one little Post-it note done at the end of the day. Because I'll tell you, the longer you're employed, the deeper you're employed, the more customers, the more reps, the higher you go, the more people need you and are going to take you away from what you need to do. And if I get that one thing done, as Curly on City Slicker says, I can feel accomplished for the day. Because sometimes that's the stress. I can't get done what I want to get done. I don't feel successful. I feel frazzled and stressed. If you focus on your priorities and your one thing, at the very least, you're going to feel better about it. Okay. You're going to feel accomplished. And my trick is, honest to God, you guys, I do my thing first. It might be the only chance I get before my back-to-back meetings start at the beginning of the day. When I sit down, I do not open my email. I don't even open the Slacks or the texts, because believe me, they've built up, right? I start my morning by being proactive and taking action on my one thing and or my priorities. Very often, or what I worked about in my sleep over the night, right? And the notes that I have next to my bed. I go get that done. And then I feel a little more prepared to react the rest of the day. Step one in doing this, folks, is recognizing everything that comes to you. Is it proactive or is it reactive? So we're going to have ourselves a little quiz. Get your chat fingers ready. Yeah, I just couldn't cut this slide because this is me at the beginning of the day. I'm going to get it all done. I feel so. And then the end of the day, I'm like, I know you're with me. All right, here we go. Here's our quiz. Proactive versus reactive. Number one, reading your email. Pro or re, folks? Type it in. Oh, we already have Discord. I love it. Actually, Joseph, it looks like oh, no, there's Tyra. She's with you too. Richard's typing to somebody else. That's okay. The answer on this one, folks, is reactive. Okay. When you're starting with email, you're being reactive. When you have a line at your desk, sales managers, are you about to be proactive or reactive? Reactive. You got it. It is your job to help these folks, but it's also within your power to reduce the line at your desk. And we're going to give you some of those strategies. All right. When you call a morning huddle, managers, are you being proactive or reactive? Pro, nailed it. You're right. When you're helping your reps with questions and issues, whether that's your peers or your team. Oh, we're just not sure, right? It is your job, but they're making the request, so it's reactive. When you're calling outbound to your new leads, proactive, reactive. Nailed it. Are you Jodie Foster? What a great name. Yay. I bet you have no trouble getting tables at restaurants. All right. Next one. If you're pulling somebody into a strategy meeting, hey, how are we going to close this deal? Hey, I need some help with this, right? Or, hey, you need some help with this. You guys have got this down. That's proactive. Doing pre-call planning. I can't fool you guys. It's proactive. Absolutely. Good. All right. Next tip. Shot number 3. Block it out. It's about creating a master day plan. Okay. Some things absolutely need to be done in the mornings. And that's because I'm calling the East Coast or because I can't see straight after 3 p.m. Okay. I go for strategy in the mornings. Love that. I go for pre-activity. I go for creativity. All of that morning person, 100%. If I can start at 3 a.m., oh, I'm on fire. Okay. Some are afternoon tasks. Some you've got to have in your calendar for both places. All right. When it's a priority, block your calendar to do it. Now, there's good ways and bad ways to do this that we dive into the class. There are really common mistakes I don't want to see you make. But the number one thing I can tell you is don't negate yourself, right? If you've got a block for it, protect the block. And of course, don't cram your entire day full of blocks, common manager mistakes. You can get more about this in the class. All right, folks, shot number 4, I'm going to go right into here. This one, it's just sort of, it's sort of a personal piece of advice. How much time do you think you waste? And how much hair do you pull out over crap you can't control? Right? There's a lot of stress in this. I can't control if they call me back or not. I just can't. I can't control if my team gets it or is going to work hard. I just can't. Chat in one thing for me that you know is 100% out of your control, not even in your influence. One thing you absolutely positively can't control. Could be about your team, could it be about you, could be about sales, something that you've got to just, as Elsa would say, let it go, let it go. Yeah, I am actually tone deaf. If they answer the phone, really good. If someone's going to react. I mean, seriously, raise your hand. It's okay if there's people around you. They don't know you're talking. Raise your hand if you've worried about somebody rejecting you on a sales call before. Managers, raise your hand if you've worried about somebody reacting poorly to your coaching or speaking up in a meeting. You're not human if your hand isn't raised. Also, you're kind of a badass. I'm super impressed by you as long as you're not lying to yourself and the people around you. We've all worried about that stuff before. Fear is real. All right. It is the script. It is what our eyes project instead of just bring in. But we can't control it. So the more we can push that crap away, the better. Managers, it's hardest for you. You want your team to want it as much as you do. You want them to want it as much as you used to. And almost none of them will. That was crap, wasn't it? So let it go. You can't control it. But folks, there is one thing you can control, and that's your time. I got to tell you something. Somebody gave me some pretty heavy advice. It was about a year or so ago. They said, LB, your calendar did not come preloaded. I mean, it's a pretty powerful statement, isn't it? It's very true. It starts blank. I choose what goes into that, don't I? I choose when I go home. I choose if I accept the meeting. I choose if I give myself some time to goof off during the day. I choose if I go out to lunch or if I block it for exercise. I choose if I let somebody schedule over something else. You can't necessarily get to all of it, okay? But you can control where you put your time and your focus. And managers, I'm going to tell you something else. Where you spend your time is one of the 3 ways people know what's important to you. Because your impression of what's important to you and your team's impression of what's important to you, I promise you, they're different. And the way we judge our leaders and what's important to them, what they talk about, where they spend their time and where they spend their money. Okay. We think it's about our values, right? We spend all this time talking about what's important to us and creating a mission and what our values are. But what we talk about during the day is get on the phones or, right? That kind of, that's what's important to us. That's how people can tell. So your calendar, if you were to go back and look at that, if your team, if your future self, if your mentor were to look at that and say, what's most important to Taylor? What would they say? I have a feeling it'd be like pipeline, right? So make sure it's the message you want it to be. All right, let's move on to sales shot number 5. Y'all didn't know this was going to be therapy along with time management, right? Are they different? Ask yourself. All right, the flaming shot, folks, they are not all fires. This is the beauty. This is the heart and soul of this class. This is where you've got to come in and practice. I'm going to talk to you about urgent versus important, and we're going to put it on a grid called the Eisenhower matrix. All right. You've got to consistently, every single thing you're doing, every single request that comes in, is it urgent? Is it important? Then you're going to take actions accordingly. And the hardest part is being consistent. So let's take a look at this. Get your chat fingers. Okay. Critical to the mission, probably revenue related. Is that important or is that urgent? Chat it in for me. Important. Thank you, Taylor. Anyone else? Urgent. This is why we do it. Important. Urgent. Urgent. Yeah, this takes a lot of practice. This is the number 1 reason I want you to take this class. We're going to dive deep into this. It's important. Okay. Not all important things are urgent. So if it's time sensitive and includes a deadline, it's urgent. Okay. And then you put it in a grid. Important, urgent. Okay. So most important quadrant, important and urgent. We call those fire drills. That is when it is worth dropping everything, turning on the siren, going out to get the ladder and the hose and putting out that fire. Okay. Pardon me. If it's urgent, all right, chat in an example for me, guys. What's a fire drill? The Eisenhower matrix has saved me in Girl Scout. Thanks, Taylor. Makes a difference, doesn't it? But it takes practice. Everybody give me an example of if something that's urgent and important. So it's revenue related and it's time bound. I know you're thinking about it. I know you're thinking about it. It's good. Keep going. I'm going to come to my next slide here. There we go. An RFP that's on a deadline. Courtney, excellent job. Closing out a huge deal with a short deadline. Taylor, nailed it. A key contact at a prospect left the company and I know the new contact. You want to get to them quickly, right? I think it's important. Gosh, it's tough to say, Monique, if that one's urgent. It's tough. It's close. It's really close. But that contact isn't leaving instantly, right? They're going to be there still. So that one I would say, ooh, it's a good effort on that one. Maybe not 100%. I would schedule that, Taylor says. See, it's hard to know. Thanks, Taylor, for the feedback. We've been a little too easy on you, Monique. Taylor's right. Schedule that shit. All right, let's take a look. Fire drill, a deal approval, customers on the phone. It's happening now, okay? Deadline or live, and I'm going to lose the deal, right? Unless you get in here and help me close it. Not, I have a meeting scheduled next week. Not, I'm still in the discovery process. Well, I'm actively losing this deal unless I get to it right now. That's your fire drill. All right. If it's important, but it's not happening now, or we don't lose it, if it's going to not happen in an hour or 2 hours, we schedule it. Taylor, you're top of the class here. Can you give everybody an example? And folks, I want you to think about it. Think hard. This is the learning process. This is where it changes from a tip into something you can actually use. What's something you schedule? Managers, this one's most easy for you. Really important, might be one of your top priorities, but it's not on fire right now or I lose the deal. A rep needs your help live to negotiate on a closing call. Colsum is a perfect example of fire drill. Rebecca, client has an urgent need to implement the product. Ooh, that is a fast deadline to get something sold. I would say, where is it in the sales cycle is the question for sure. All right, Taylor, employee is struggling with something they've been learning and training, something they need some feedback on, maybe some call coaching, schedule it. Perfect. Client has a question, schedule it. Yes, you got it. In fact, sometimes we think voicemails and emails are urgent. What if it's a really pissed off client who's left you a message? I can't believe this has happened. I'm so angry. I'm going to pull my business. What is it, folks? Is it urgent? Is it important? It's tough, isn't it? The truth is, this is the hardest one and we weren't ready for it. Ralph, you nailed it. It's really, really important. Getting to that client in the next 5 minutes may or may not make the difference. Okay, getting to them next week is certainly going to piss them off. But the things that are most urgent are about speed to lead. It's the new business. Yeah, you schedule the time to call them back, or you call back and you schedule a call, right? But it doesn't have to mean drop everything. Remember, that's reactive, not proactive. Oh, it's hard. I got it. Making a prospect follow-up call is another example. Something to delegate is when it's not important, but it's urgent, right? My outlook has been broken and it's been driving me crazy. I mean, crazy. It couldn't be like, I can't do anything. You're driving me nuts. Okay. But it's not my focus. It's not my bag. It's not the most important priority of my day, computer issues. So I delegate that. Okay. And then of course, the trash. This will be fun. Give me an example of something you've done this week that was neither urgent nor important. Be honest. How many cat videos did you watch? Show me their dog. Marisol, I love that. Everybody check out Marisol's recommendation. Give me something else, guys, that you've done that is neither urgent nor important this week. Researched info for a prospect that was not ready to close. Oh, Christian, that is, I mean, that's an admission right there. That took some guts to put in there too. It's so easy to dive into the research, isn't it? We all get lost in the research when what we should be doing is prioritizing the calls and the deals and what's going to bring us revenue right now. Clearing out of the inbox. I would say that that's important, just not urgent on that one, Taylor. Checking your socials. Yeah, true. Sending conference info to a network contact. It's not urgent. It is part of nurturing. I wouldn't not do that. I would probably just schedule time to do that in my emails. Basically, socials, cat videos, bullshitting, things that really are a waste of time. Unless you've got this as some scheduled downtime that brings you joy, because I got to tell you, that's where I fail. I have every minute of every day scheduled and being active, and I just burn out too fast, and that's not cool. All right, let's get on to stop number 6. Think of it as self-care. Boundaries are your friend, right? So we talked about things being out of your control and worrying about those and how it wastes time, right? But when you care more than other people do, that also hurts. When you go crazy of your time, can you tell that this is a personal issue for me, right? And you don't protect your own time or give yourself downtime, it's going to hurt. So I want you to protect your time like Fort Knox. Managers, this is especially for you, but reps, you know it's true as well. So communicate your expectations up front. I think you're going to handle this. I expect you to do this on your own. Come to me only if you have questions. Work with Joe on this, right? Be really clear up front. I'm still working on that. Then help people understand you are not going to be available. They need to figure it out where else they can go for help, right? And when they come to you anyway, say no. It will take 3 times for someone to get that you are not their shell answer man. All right. Because listen, as sellers, and this is true for me too, we're like water. We will always flow the path of least resistance. I mean, come on, if you knew, like, oh, I know I learned that. What was the answer to that? Are you going to A, go back and open up the book or the website where you found it, or B, Slack somebody really quick to give it to you? All day long, we take option B, okay? But folks, if you want to guard your time like Fort Knox, you don't give into that. Let other people find their own damn answers, okay? You're going to get more done by staying focused on your proactivity and your priorities. And yes, that means me time, okay? If you are working from home and you're working all the time and you never close the laptop, that 4 p.m. yoga class, just as important, okay? Nobody needs to know it's your 4 p.m. yoga class. Protect it. Go take the class. So here are some examples of how to do this. And we do this a ton in the training as well, okay? When someone comes to you and says, hey, can you blah, 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 blah. I love this one, right? Hey, this sounds awesome, but I'm on a deadline right now. Could you tell me at lunch tomorrow? Steal the line and use it over and over and over again. Here's another one you can try. Whoa, hey, this sounds cool, but I need to stop you. It's important. I want to give it the time it deserves. Would you please put this on our agenda for the one-on-one this week? Okay, I get inbound calls all day long about subjects I have a meeting booked to cover later in the week. Okay, it's saying no, bring it to the meeting that will save your life. Okay, Rep A, hey, what's up? Got a minute? I love this one. I literally have 30 seconds right now, or I've got 15 minutes open at 2 p.m. Don't say, can we talk about it then? Or I'll call you back then, because you're signing up, right? I've got 30 seconds right now or 15 minutes at 2 p.m. Will you hit me back then if you still need help? Or when you get the Slack, got a minute? Sorry, I'm in a meeting. Can you hit up Bob instead? All right, I want you to rethink meetings as well. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I've spent too much time already. I have too much in here. Sorry, everybody. Meetings, managers, you especially. We have a whole class on building a sales management cadence. This is something else we've done in Girls Club as well. I want you to DM me if you want access to this class as well. Okay, it's called Essential Manager Meetings, and it's teaching you to push everything into a meeting so that you're not spending all day in whack-a-mole. Here's a cheat sheet you can go and get, factor8.com/meetings. Okay, it's going to cover how many to have, how often, what good looks like, all the good stuff, right? Like Taylor is saying, bring it to the one-on-one. You've got to use that. And the bonus chaser on this is that not all meetings are created equal, okay? When I say push it to a meeting, it doesn't mean go have 300 one-hour meetings individually. A lot of them can be done in a group. Here's the number one tip I want everybody to do today. Silence your notifications. Folks, all of them. The only thing that gets to notify you is your calendar because you blocked out time and it's telling you you have to be somewhere or you have to be in a meeting. All of these emails that pop up, those are all just moles, okay? Waiting for you to stop what you're doing that's important and go whack them. Stop that. Number 9, told you I had more than 8. Touch it once, okay? If you're reading emails and leaving them in your box, doesn't work, okay? You either delete it, respond it, or file it. Touch it once, put it away. And then here's my personal tip. If I have carried it onto my to-do list 3 times, in other words, I haven't done it and I keep writing it down, it's time to just delete it or schedule time to do it because clearly I can't get to it. The last tip is to chunk your tasks, okay? We don't have time to dive into this. It is in your own the day class and it's fantastic. Delegating is another great one. I'm so sorry I don't have time to cover it. Go take the class and here it is. Factor8.com/productive. This is a quote. I love this. LA put this out on LinkedIn. It was just 2 days ago. We were notifying everybody that we're doing this class and she's like, oh my God, so refreshing. Literally changed my, isn't that great? Literally changed my life. I love it. There's a rep course called Own Your Day, a manager course called Own Your Sales Day. If you've got a team of yourself and 5 sellers, you can, all of you, go take the class. This is interactive e-learning that's going to teach you how to do it. It's not just a video. It's not just, you also get templates and cheat sheets and all kinds of good stuff. If you take the class and you submit your matrix, I'm going to pick the winner and you get to be my guest host on a future sales shot. Okay. So this is my contest. It's going to be a ton of fun. Go to factor8.com/productive. If you sign up for it before May 24th, you're going to get bonus about 12 more pieces of content. Really cool, fun stuff. Factor8.com/productive. Here's my info. If we're not connected already on LinkedIn, do it. If you've got a simple request, something I can help you with, that is my personal email address. Do it. If you want to bring this training to your team, that's the phone number. Suzanne's going to answer that and help you. And I can't wait to see you back here next month for the sales shot. And I can't wait to have a guest host. It's going to be a ton of fun. So go to factor8.com/productive and take the class and give me your feedback. Write down my email address. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you at our webinar next month. Bye, everybody.